everybody. Hello, we're here. We're in it to win it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. It is time to start out. We're starting off with the big guns. I'm not gonna lie. This is vegan atheist Coral. For those of you who do not know, get to know, because she's awesome and amazing and does absolutely so much that you would not believe. Like, you wouldn't believe it. I have currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tabs of just the stuff that she's been doing, and that's only like 2 things. So hi, how are you? How you doing?
It's good. I miss everybody so much. I know I've been kind of on the DL. I've been doing all of these things with a broken ankle on top of that.
Right, you broke your ankle. What? How did you do that?
Okay. I was bringing down an armful of fleece for the bunnies, and I think I slipped on a fleece and missed the last 2 stairs, and I broke it in 2 places and dislocated it. Yeah.
Oh no.
0 out of 10, do not recommend at all.
The fair. And like, you've been in recovery for that for how many weeks now? Months at this point?
2 months.
2 months. Oh my God.
I'm done with it. Like, done.
You've got to be so frustrated just having to sit there the whole time of being like, because you're such a go person.
You have no idea. Like, it is. I did not realize how much I hated asking for help, because I'm like, everybody asks for help.
It's
but
fine.
when it's something stupid, like, I need help getting up so I could go pee, or I need a glass of water and I can't make it over there, I cannot stand it.
You can't reach the 3rd shelf in the fridge.
It's awful. But I'm currently hobbling without my crutches now, so that's
Make sure that you're still asking for help during that time, though, because if you don't, you're going to strain it too much, and you're going to be right back where you started.
You have no idea. Like, last night, we had a really funny story. Not funny. Bunny injury occurred. I went running up the stairs without crutches, without anything, running up the stairs to make sure that everybody was okay. And everybody was, thank goodness.
Oh, good.
But, like, today, I had my foot up all day, and I was icing it because I'm like, yay, recovery.
You can't be doing stuff like that. Well, so we're here. We're doing charity and outreach stuff, and Coral was, I think, one of the first people I reached out to, because I actually noticed I had to reach out to very few people because so many people just came forward, which was fantastic. So I think you are, if not the first person I reached out to, potentially the only person I ended up reaching out to. Because I was like, vegan, man.
I've been a little MIA recently, too, because I have been not only recovering, but also dealing with so much on my plate that if you wouldn't have reached out, I might not have seen it. So I really appreciate it, because anytime I get to talk about either the animals or any of the projects that I'm working with, I am just super stoked to be able to talk about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think especially I think it's nice to start with animals a lot of the time, because
Absolutely.
like, who doesn't like bunnies?
It's the floof. Yes, it's the floof. I have been involved in animal rescue for probably about 7 years now, maybe 6. And I actually fell into it on accident. So funny story. I was sitting at my desk at work, working a 9 to 5 in the mortgage industry. And one of my coworkers just randomly just walked by and goes, "I know what you need," pointing at me. And I'm like, "What do I need?" He goes, "You need a bunny." And I go, "How did you know I need a bunny?" And he goes, "Wait, it's a real bunny." And I go, "Yes, I need a real bunny. Of course. Like, of course I do." Not knowing how to deal with bunnies, I didn't know anything. I legitimately had never cared for a bunny, never had a bunny in my life. And I went out to his house, and the poor bunny was outside in a hutch with frozen water. The bowl of water was literally frozen over. They said, "Oh, I didn't realize it got so cold last night. Normally we bring them into the garage when it starts dipping below zero. But, family's not really taking care of the bunny as much. And so that's why we're looking to rehome." So that was like the first bunny that I was like introduced with. And that was like a steep curve, but I think I rejoined Facebook that summer because my husband actually wanted me to join for, I don't even remember why. So he was like, "You
Join
need to
so I can get
Facebook."
more points in Farmville.
Maybe it could have been something ridiculous like that. And I said, you know what, if I'm going to get on something this stupid, then I'm going to make sure that I'm following a bunch of animal rescues.
Stuff that involves and you're interested in, yeah.
Yeah, I really didn't know. I could have followed dragons and, geeky shit too, and it would have been, whatever. Yeah. But for some reason, I just felt like I needed to do that. And then I was, going up the timeline or whatever, and I saw this woman say that there was this bunny that all of the shelters were full, and there was a bunny that was being housed with the dogs in the kennels with the dogs. And if anybody knows anything about rabbits, is that they are prey animals, and so you do not put them anywhere near the dogs. And I was like, I don't care what you have to do to get that bunny out. I will foster this bunny. Please get this bunny somewhere safe. And that's actually how I got introduced to FurAngels Animal Sanctuary, which is one of the ones that is on your list. That was the first animal rescue that I helped out with. And it just snowballed from there. I mean, during my time that I've been with FurAngels, I have fostered ferrets, I have fostered turtles, I had betta fish. We've had hamsters here. We've had rats. We've had all types of animals, because they do all types of animals. And I really love them. And I was doing so much that I was legitimately coordinating, and I was training people, and we were doing all different types of stuff. And at a certain point, I started just reaching out to other rabbit rescues, just to know who they were and to be able to
collaborate.
And if we had questions, because I was still semi-new to a lot of the rabbit stuff, but I was learning so much just by the sheer volume of bunnies that I had in my house. And we ended up, it was actually Jan from HRSChicago who approached me and was like, I think we should set up a group chat amongst us and some other rabbit rescues that we know, because we were just kind of chatting on our own and stuff. But she was like, what if we set up this group chat? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. I want to be able to let's work together. Like, together we'll be able to do more, and we can still do stuff for our individual rescues and stuff. But sometimes, we get an adopter in that just none of our animals are a good fit, but maybe it's a good fit for you, and vice versa. And we warn each other if somebody comes in and they're on the do not adopt list. Things like that.
Yeah, it's important to keep in touch with each other, right?
Yeah.
So that way you can avoid stuff like that.
Yeah. And there are do not adopt lists and things like that are more official, but to be able to just go on to there and be like, have you guys gotten anything from this person? This is, going on or whatever. And there's been a couple of times that it definitely has made an impact. We ended up calling it the Chicago Area Rabbit Rescue Alliance is what we were calling it, just
Oh.
unofficially. But there's 10 different rescues right now that work with it. So HRSChicago is one of the main ones that we work with. HRS itself, it stands for House Rabbit Society. And they actually are nationwide. The one though that we do a lot of work with is with the Chicago House Rabbit Society, and they have some really amazing work. If you need to know anything about rabbits, they have lots of information. I learned so much just from their website, and
they have
all
a
of that
whole
jazz.
chunk of this website here is listed under rabbit care, and they have just tons of articles of like pen living for rabbits, rabbit grooming, rabbit diet, caution of outdoor exercises, adopting or maintaining bonded rabbit pairs. Like, one of the things that you got to look out for, it's the holiday season, and in the holiday season some people like to give other people pets. Please do not gift someone a pet. It doesn't mean you can't get them a pet. Just don't give it to them on Christmas. Instead, be like, hey, this is what we're doing. We're going to go out. We're going to go and set up, and we're going to make like a whole month of setting up, make it an event. And then you can get them the animal, and they can pick out the animal, and you can do all of the research and the setup for the animal and make the present like a huge thing instead of like, here's a rabbit. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that, please.
That leads in perfectly with what the next part that we were going to mention is rabbits are the number 3 most dumped animal in all of Chicagoland area. So we are 90% of the time, all of the rabbit rescues are always full. Last year, we actually have something called rabbit action alerts where we go out and we catch dumped rabbits that have been dumped outside. And the 2 times that is the most, we get the most dumped rabbits is, I don't know, about a month after Easter and a month after Christmas, because people are no longer interested. The cuteness has rubbed off, and now they have to deal with the fact that having a rabbit is a lot of work, and they have very specialized needs, and it's not as simple as, throwing it into a small tiny little guinea pig cage and oh, look how cute it is. It's not like that at all. And so that's one of the things, the rabbit action alerts that we went through so far. I believe it's actually with Red Door is the one who runs most of the rabbit action alerts. And Red Door Animal Sanctuary is out of Chicago, and they are the ones that have done most of that. There's some groups that are just kind of tangentially that will just go out as volunteers to go rescue the rabbits that are loose. But we have I've gone all the way up to Indiana to deal with like hoarding cases and stuff like that. We had a case of 86 rabbits, and most of them were Angora rabbits, which were completely matted up. And we went up there just to help with feeding them, grooming them, and we stayed and created some toys for, mental stimulation and stuff like that. But that was a whole day. We went up there 2 days in a row during a weekend trying to get all of these rabbits taken care of. And while I was there, it was actually really funny because I ended up taking one of the rabbits home with me because of the fact that when I got there, I was like, oh, what is this rabbit? It was a teeny tiny little Netherland dwarf. I'm like, I heard that you have a rabbit that's a little difficult, and I love the asshole bunnies and stuff. So I'm like,
yes, asshole bunnies. I want to see what kind of dick this little guy is.
Yeah,
the rabbit's got short man syndrome.
Legitimately, that you don't realize how much that is true. every single person who has tried to put their hands in there to like redo the food or the water has gotten bit, scratched, everything else. Like this rabbit was, they were calling this rabbit Banicula. That's how much they hated this rabbit. And they didn't even know what sex the rabbit was because nobody could get their hands on it. And the vet hadn't been in yet. So I said, let me go in, see what I could do. I legitimately went in, whoop, swoop, got it. Oh, it's a girl. Boop, put it right back. And they're like, how did you do that? And I was just like, I understand her. And so I actually took her back with
Vegan's the bunny whisperer.
I actually do get that a lot. But it's, I just get her. I get the reason why she's upset. She was in a tiny little cage and she had cage aggression. But when she was in a larger room environment, she was so sweet. And we ended up bonding her with another asshole rabbit, and they're
there's nothing like seeing like two assholes get together to be assholes together. It's so wholesomely assholey, and I'm all about it.
Yes.
It's all good on all animals.
Yeah, they're like picking the brain, and they're like, what are we doing tonight? To take over the world.
And they're just hanging out.
Yeah. Oh, but I was going to say that I believe the last numbers that I got from Red Door was that there are over 600 dump rabbits since Easter alone.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
So when we're talking about that this is a major issue, it is legitimately a major issue that we've been dealing with. And we've been working really hard, too, I've talked at City Hall and things like that, trying to pass legislation to make it so that pet stores like Petland and the furry, the furry babies and all of those stuff, we made it so that we were pushing to get legislation signed so that they would be required to use adoption first instead of using breeders. And that is an important first step to try to minimize the amount of backyard breeding and puppy mills and rabbit mills and things like that.
Yeah, that's no good. That's how you get things like it's not good for anybody. It's not good for the rabbits. It's not good for the local flora and fauna. It's not good for anybody involved.
Exactly. And we're still pushing we want to make it so that every bunny that is adopted out is able to get spayed, neutered, and at this point, because we are dealing with the rabbit hemorrhagic disease, we want them to be vaccinated as well.
Yeah, well, did you guys out there know that you could spay and neuter your rabbit? Did you guys even know that? I didn't know that. I learned something new today.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could spay. I mean, it makes sense. Like, it just never crossed my mind.
And it's super important, too, because the bunnies that don't end up spayed and neutered are 9 times more likely to get some sort of hormonal type cancer. Like the girl bunnies end up with mammary masses. One of the bunnies that I had that was unspayed ended up having from her shoulder to her hip just a line of massive tumors going down and had to have them removed. I had another one that had uterine cancer. All of her uterus just full of crystals and stuff like that. So
that is no good.
It's super important because if they don't have those organs, they can't get the cancer there.
Yeah, fair. Not wrong. The thing is like you got to recognize with any kind of animal you're getting, it needs to have its own care routine. It's going to have its own standards that you're going to have to meet. And getting smaller, even like rats, any kind of, well, I don't know, like a ferret, every kind of animal you get has its own needs that need to be met, and no animal is just easy. Like Puck is a very easy dog. Look at this boy. He's just laying there. He's chill.
Best boy.
But he has his own needs, and you have to commit to meeting that animal's needs. And so, and understand that just because it's the same breed doesn't mean it's going to be the same kind of animal doesn't mean it's going to have the same temperament. It's going to have all of the exact same needs, right?
Exactly.
So if you are getting a pet this year, please, for the love of God, do your research. If you don't know,
Yes.
reach out. And hey, maybe if your kid is interested in rabbits or interested in an animal, maybe consider doing a foster type situation.
Yes.
Because then they can get the information, or maybe a volunteer type situation where they can go in and interact with the animals before they dedicate to actually having one.
And honestly, that is legitimately the best advice that I could give, because when you are a foster, you get the whole support of the rescue community. So if you have questions or something's going on, you're not sure about it, then that becomes a resource for you. But on top of that,
you can make
if
friends.
You are not, oh, well, I mean, I have so many, yes, absolutely. Yes, you make friends, but on top of that, the most important thing is sometimes some animals just don't fit into your lifestyle. And I'm not just talking about a certain breed or even a certain species. It could just be an animal's personality. And instead of, say, giving it back to our rescue, you can instead, if you just fostered it to begin with, find out that it's not a good match for you, and then it gets adopted out in the normal process, and you can have another animal that comes in, and maybe that one is going to be a better fit for your family's lifestyle.
And it can really absolutely help educate your kids, educate your family, even like in general, like if you got aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, sisters, because then they're coming over and you've got these animals and you're not spending any more money than you would be otherwise.
Exactly. And in some cases, some rescues will actually help pay for supplies and things like that during the fostering time as well. So there's a lot of really great benefits to doing it.
And if your kid gets super attached, keep it.
Right, exactly. And if everybody falls in love with the animal, then foster failing is totally a thing. I've done it a bunch of times, and when it works, and you just can't get you can't say goodbye, and that's okay too. But another thing too is volunteering is another really important job that is needed all over the country right now due to COVID, because, and understandably so, a lot of people are staying home and, kind of just dealing with what's going on in their families. But that means there's less people out volunteering, and these rescues absolutely need it. One of the things that I have worked with is there's a couple of different organizations, and I don't know if I gave them to you, but we have the Bunny Underground Network, and we have there's a rescue railroad that we work with as well. And what they do is absolutely incredible. Is we basically do transport for anywhere. Well, for fun, it's bunnies, but for rescue railroad, it is dogs, and it is something that they need. Sometimes it's just a small leg of the trip that they need. A lot of the stuff that I've done is in state, but there has been some times when I've had to do cross country trips, so it is something that if you get a chance to volunteer for things like that, maybe you're able to drive from, in my case, Chicago to Springfield, and you can take that small lip of a drive, and then the next person, it'd be like a baton, and they would take the animal from the next leg of the journey. Those types of volunteers are absolutely needed so much right now. And especially if you have any type of experience with dogs, or in the bunnies case, for bunnies as well. Oh, I think you're muted.
I'm muted. I'm the dumb. I'm gonna sneeze too. Hold on a second. Jeez. I'm falling apart. Oh, geez. Okay, well, I think a lot of us can actually relate to a situation like that since this community actually went through that situation when it came to Boole. You're the one who did, what, the entirety or almost the entirety of the driving between you and Astronomy Live, getting Boole's dog back with where he belonged with his family?
Absolutely, yeah. What he Astronomy Live was the one who picked up the Dexter from the shelter and got him the care that he needed, and he held on to him and fostered him for a few weeks. It ended up being before I was able to, number one, get the time off from work, but number two, make sure that get everything together so that I could go out there. And so I think in the end, he ended up having the dog for 2 or maybe 3 weeks before, everybody got the spinning dishes all lined up.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah, we
certainly
ended up doing.
an affair.
Yes, we went from I went from Illinois down to Florida and then Florida on over to what was it, Colorado. And so it was quite a drive and then back to the thing. So we just did a big old circle. I mean, I've done it twice, 3 times before with various things. So that's why whenever I saw that that was needed, I was like, this is a thing that I can do to help. Like, this is something that I have experience with, and this is something that it means a lot to me, not only because of how much Boole means to us, but also because of yeah, it just meant a lot knowing that
It was a lot.
because we
Yeah.
because we couldn't say goodbye in the most appropriate way, being able to do this as a last like gift meant a lot to me personally. So
And
it
I
even
think
put
a lot.
aside,
Yeah.
like I even put aside like the phobia that I had about COVID to do it during the middle of the worst of the pandemic.
Yeah, that was right at the top of all, especially in Florida, because Florida is Florida. We don't talk about Florida here, but
Right,
I
like
think a lot of the
legitimately.
community, right, and a lot of the community was like there wasn't a whole lot anybody could do, and so what could anybody do? Right? And so I think a lot of people were able to, like, vicariously through your actions, kind of put a lot of that appropriately to rest as best as they could, at the very least.
Exactly.
And that's a thing that you don't think that animal transport is gonna be like, oh well, you gotta drive like a cat from point A to point B, whatever, like they're getting adopted by some other family, no big deal. But it's not just about that. It's about so much more, and it can be any kind of animal. Dexter was a dog. Dexter was a support animal, but it's not always a support animal. Sometimes it's just like, especially with hurricanes and tragedies that have gone on, or earthquakes that have happened, where now all of these animals are displaced, have nowhere to go, don't know where they are or what's going. They're going through the tragedy as much as everybody else is, and getting them back home and their families are also suffering without them. So
Exactly.
just getting that transport done from point, if it's not that big of a deal to you and you can drive from one city to another and it's like 2 hours out of your day, is that really a big deal to you? Can you do that? And with all the drama, there's so much drama that goes on. There's so much nonsense drama that goes on. And we're so busy looking at other people and saying, hey, this thing you did was wrong, or this thing, and it's important. It's important to call out your own. It's important to make sure that the people in your community are behaving in a way that's conducive and positive, in a way that's helpful. But sometimes it's good to look at yourself to be like, okay, well, what can I do to try and improve my
Put your money where your mouth is. Like, what can you do? What can you do to help our community? Because there's a lot of different things that you can do. And it's not necessarily just about, I mean, yes, not everybody can transport, not everybody can give money, but you can like a post, you can share a post. Like, those are some easy things that you can do. I make sure that I like and share a lot of the stuff on like my Facebook and stuff like that, because that's primarily what I use my Facebook for. But if you see them on the Twitters and stuff like that, share away, make sure that you're sharing. And that also reminds me of, there are some other really amazing programs out there that do great work for like service animal, or not service animals, but service members who go on deployment. There's a rescue called Dogs on Deployment, and you can actually foster for while somebody is overseas fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan and all of those places. You can actually watch their animals while they're doing that, so that way they don't have to worry about them.
And I know that there are some options when it comes to adopting, that you can adopt an ex-police, a retired working dog or working animal. AdoptTheVet.org
is another fantastic organization that they actually take ex-working dogs and they put them through therapy, and they train them and work with their PTSD as well, and then they work on getting them adopted out to loving homes of ex-military members and service members and things like that.
Sometimes the best thing you can do is just be aware and spread more information, because the more that people know these places and things and problems exist, the better chances there's going to be that people are going to be talking about these problems or caring about these problems, or finding ways that, oh, I know a person who could do this thing, or I got a question. Why don't schools participate in things like rescuing bunnies? Because there's plenty of schools that have like a class pet. Why is this not part of any of that? Lots of schools have a required volunteer program thing. Why are none of these walking a dog an option? Why are you expecting the kids to be able to know and find out about these things instead of just providing, here's a list. What do you want to do? Pick one.
And, there are some really awesome programs that where the jails have actually implemented adopted animals and training and things like that. And that has been beneficial both for the people that are working on their rehabilitation, but also for the animals to get them trained and ready for adoption.
Gonna get Kyle a pet snake.
Maybe.
Snick. We can't get rid of all of the sass. I'm sorry.
Yes. But I mean, I would love to have more people involved in all the various facets of animal rescue. So I'm definitely a huge advocate of getting animals into classrooms and things like that, because they are such great tools of just teaching compassion and empathy.
And it brings awareness that now if you're a kid and you're growing up knowing that this exists, good, the information is ingrained in there. You know it exists, so you'll be able to deal with it or not. It's like, because some people can't. Not everybody can deal with animals, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't feel bad. Not every animal's for every person. I don't know if I'll ever get another dog. I don't know if I'm going to be, like, even able to handle something like that. So what I'll probably end up doing is either getting another kind of animal, and I know I'm not doing puppies again. No puppies. Not doing puppies. Because I didn't get... Puck might have ended up at a rescue, but he wasn't from a mill, and he also wasn't adopted from, like, a shelter. There was a family that accidentally some puppied not too far away, so I got him off of Kijiji for like $100.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens for sure. And keeping those animals out of the shelters is super important. So
because that's another place you can look, is that sometimes people aren't breeding their dogs on purpose. Sometimes that just accidentally happens. So if you're looking around for, like, don't go to a breeder, but you check on Kijiji and there's somebody down the road from you that's like, I got puppies and I need to get rid of them. Oops.
Yeah, especially so that they don't get fed to snakes. We see that very often.
Snakes gotta eat.
Rabbits and all of that stuff. So,
it's important that if you are going to get involved in something like this, that you absolutely know, like, if you're going to get a pet, know what kind of pet you're even allowed to have, because that happens. And that's no good, because, like, if you end up with animal rescue knocking at your door, and then suddenly the shelter is dealt with this animal that they're like, we can't do anything with you.
Yeah. I mean, we've had a few incidences where we ended up having to get a wildlife rehabber involved and stuff because somebody had a wild rabbit instead and thought it was a good idea, or squirrels, or even raccoons. Like, people, make sure that like, what your laws are in the area before you try to do that, and reach out to your local wildlife rehabbers. Because they do need such specialized care. It's pretty crazy, like, some of the stuff that you see when you're in rescue. So,
well, that's a lot, and that's just animal rescue. That's not even the only thing that you do, because I've just been scrolling through you guys have been able to see on the outside that I've been scrolling through, like, animals that are up for adoption, like the different information about all of the different places that are on your initial screenshot there. And so you can see all the cute, like, look at this dog named Lime. What are you? A terrier mixed breed, and she's tiny? She's 10 pounds. What are you? Oh.
Yeah. And
adorable.
If you go into FurAngels and go into the rabbits, if you go into theirs, they have Cupcake and Fudge are the two that I'm fostering right now. They're super sweet.
Oh, I don't see Cupcake and Fudge, though. I see Mopsy, Topsy, Saturn, Pluto, Moonbeam, Jupiter, Donna, and Terra. They might be in the foster program area, though.
Well, it's on FurAngels, not on.
Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Hold on. There we go. Okay. That explains why I didn't see them. Adoptable reptiles. No, I don't want reptiles. Adoptable rabbits. Roomba? Oh my god.
Roomba is awesome. I actually had her here. I had her with us for a few months. She's pretty awesome.
She's got great hair. I'm jealous.
Yes, she has, like, great head hair. She's a lion head.
So cute. Pig Casso.
Yeah.
Nacho and Taquito.
Yes, absolutely. Because, why not?
Okay, so which ones did you say?
Fudge and Buttercup are the ones that I have. I want to change their names.
Fudge and Buttercup. Meet Buttercup and Fudge. These girls are an English spot mix, healthy adult rabbits, around 4 pounds each. They are sweet, gentle buns. Once they get to know you, as both girls take some time to warm up to new people. Buttercup, brown and white bunny, will come to you for a yummy treat and let you pet her, while Fudge, black and white bunny, is more shy and tends to hide. They are fine with calm dogs and cats and would do best in a home with older children. Someone who will be patient with them and provide daily socializing. Previous bunny experience is a plus. Yes. They need a large pen for housing to provide them room to run and play. Buttercup and Fudge were adopted out 2 years ago, but returned to the rescue due to the family no longer being able to care for them. The girls are currently residing in a foster home until they find a new loving family. They are box trained, etc., etc. And here's the pictures.
They're like this big.
Oh, they're so cute.
And actually, bunnies do the best when they're in pairs. One of the things that I do a lot with a lot of the rabbit rescues is I help them with bonding, because bonding can be such a rough thing. So maybe they'll adopt out a rabbit to somebody who has already a rabbit, and so I'll help them with the bonding process. It's pretty tough and grueling. Some of the bunnies, on average, takes anywhere between 4 and 8 weeks to get bonded. That's about normal, about average. But some bunnies take 6 months to a year, so it can be a lot of work.
All animals are work. Please understand that all animals are work, and please, if you get an animal, understand that you are taking on that responsibility, and you can, even if you're not trying to get rid of your animal, if you're just struggling, if you reach out to your local shelter, they'll help you. They'll help you sort out what you need. So if something's going wrong with your animal, and you're like, sometimes the vet isn't there to do that kind of thing. Your vet is there for medical stuff. So sometimes if it's a social issue, if it's an environmental issue, like as in the environment that you've got the bunny or animal in, you go to your local shelter, they will help you out.
Absolutely.
You want to jump over to your other project that you've been doing?
Yes,
you crazy
absolutely.
woman.
Because I'm insane and I absolutely love it. NaNoWriMo is amazing, and think of it like, I like to think of it as it's a writing challenge where we attempt to write a 50,000 word novel in only 30 days, and it is insane. That becomes our daily averages are about 1,667 words a day is about what we aim for during those 30 days. We legitimately just got done with it, and I did in fact win this year's Nano, so I'm very happy that I accomplished that. But honestly, just getting into the mentality of writing every day, showing up and making that a priority and setting your intentions is something that's really super important. So as somebody who is so and that's what these posters in the backs are, they're all for NaNoWriMo, but basically because I have been wanting to be a writer, and finding the motivation and stuff was something that I really needed to work with. And so then I stumbled upon NaNoWriMo, and I had so much self-doubts, and you just have a lot of imposter syndrome, I think, as well. But it really does help you focus. And so my first year of doing Nano, I did it kind of in the background without actually being involved and stuff like that. But I knew the next year that
once you tried it, you're hooked. Yeah.
I was hooked because I saw how much my productivity went up. And then I also saw the amazing stuff that they do throughout the communities. So I volunteered to be what's called a municipal liaison. And as a volunteer, what we do is we set up all of the events for our regions. We all have different regions. My region is the Illinois Elsewhere region. And it is a nice big spread out region, and so most of it's all online, which I'm totally comfortable with doing streams online and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, we could totally do this. Let's do virtual write-ins. We'll stream them. We'll put up some prompts and stuff like that. But
writing prompts are so much fun.
They're so great. I love it, and we've come up with some doozies, and just seeing what you're able to write during those things is absolutely incredible. But on top of that, they also have what's called normally when the pandemic's not around, we have come write-in locations, which are normally like libraries, bookstores, sometimes schools, and they actually host their own events at these locations. So the liaisons will help make sure that they have if they need anything, we'll make sure that they have the gear that's needed for it, and just make sure that they have the support. We'll show up and we'll be there to help them out. But they also have there is things that they do for kids as well. It's called a Young Writers Program, and during just 2020, they had over 97,439 students and educators within the Young Writers Program.
That's a lot.
For the municipal, for the Come Write In centers, they had over 448 libraries. And so that it really does have a huge impact on future writers and future teachers and things like that.
Journalists and YouTubers.
Yes, absolutely. Because, they need to know how to write every day, right? Come up with that new drama that is going to keep people on the seat of their pants.
Keep people on the seat of their pants?
And then
now I've gotta draw a cute little vegan atheist coral that says "Keep you on the seat of your pants."
That's right,
like a sticker.
That would be so cute, and I would so slap that on like a t-shirt and wear it around because that would be hilarious.
Tis the season.
Absolutely. But yeah, we do have a lot of really amazing people, and there's amazing programs. And we are right now, because it goes from National Novel Writing Month, NaNoWriMo, that's what NaNoWriMo stands for, is from November 1st until November 30th. We do have some camp nanos that happen in April and in June. But the big one is November. Now that we have just finished with that, we still do work year-round. So right now, we're working on December, which we call our now wet months. Now that we are going through a post-nano day, what does that look like? And mostly working on like editing and learning how to do revisions and
good writing habits, and it's keeping those habits and getting those, because it's hard, especially like I think a lot of writers are nervous and don't know how to do like how to get revisions, how to reach out to people, and how to have your work critiqued, and how to start, and a lot of people just get stuck on that barrier. And so this whole program is about helping you break those barriers and build up really good habits and having really like positive influences on you of people. No, these aren't random people on the internet. These are people that are here to try to help you improve and understand that you're not going to be perfect at something. You're not going to be great at something when you first start. So don't feel bad about that. It applies to everything.
Absolutely. And just getting past those negative thoughts that kind of stick around and kind of impede you and kind of become these big blocks for many writers. Having someone to push you through and to look at things in a different way, or to get you to write, to get past whatever scene block that you're getting. So maybe instead of working on that scene, we work on another scene that you know exactly what's going to happen, and you get that written out, or you get that edited in and stuff like that. Those are all really super important. But also realizing that one of the things we talk about a lot is self-care as well. So knowing we have regular hydration checks. We
drink
do
water.
Yes, drink water. We tell people to save their work. We're constantly telling people, okay, make sure that because that'll keep your you don't want you to lose everything, and that is not good for self-care.
We've all done that. We've all done that before, working on something, and then.
Right, exactly.
Everything's ruined.
Everything's gone, and you're just like, there's nothing I can do to make it come back, and if I try to rewrite it, it's not going to be as good, and I'm going to be upset, and it's going to be horrible. And so just getting past that, it's a lot.
Here's your 10-minute reminder to hit the save button.
Yes.
This is your reminder, people at home right now. Go drink some water.
But also, I've met some really amazing people within the community too. That there's always somebody there to cheerlead you on your way, to ask where you are in your thing. If you have you're really worried about a scene that's coming up, you can ask for advice, or if you need help with world building, there's always somebody there that is able to, give some 2 cents and maybe give you a little nudge and push you right into whatever you were working on, so that way you don't end up procrastinating for 4 hours because you went to go look up what, what medieval bathrooms look like.
Yeah, you've gotten bogged down in the process and the nitty-gritty that you've lost sight of the goal, like the major goal. Like right now, I've noticed that I had to work past because I've been writing my scripts for the player's handbook for Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm trying to write out how do you make this massive book consumable so somebody can watch the video, pick up, and play. What is important and what do people need? And I'm starting with a character sheet, which is like way more, like it looks complicated. It's not, but is at the same time. And I got stuck being like, okay, I've covered this and this, but where do I go next? But what I decided to do was throw that format out, and I'm like, I'm just gonna write it, and then I'm gonna move in and move stuff around and write all the rejoinders, so that way I've got the nitty-gritty, and now I just need to put the nitty-gritty where I want it to go, and...
Exactly. That is, that's something that we talk about a lot, because sometimes just to push past that, you do need to start at somewhere else and then go back to it, because maybe something else will just like light and give you an idea, and or just giving one of the advice that I give people all the time is sometimes you just need to put it down. Put it down, go have yourself a me day, go watch some TV or watch a movie or read a favorite book. And 90% of the time, just by doing that, will give you that spark even before the day is done.
Hey, I mean, a lot of the time, even if you've put something down, your brain is working on it in the background. I know I do that all the time. Somebody asks me a question, if I don't know the answer off the top of my head, that answer will come to me while I'm washing dishes 4 hours later. I had somebody do that to me in high school once. They asked me a question about who an actor was in a movie, and I was like, oh, I know this. I know who it is. Why do I not know? Why can I not? I don't know. An hour and a half later, sitting in silent study in English class, I slammed my book down and yelled, Johnny Depp.
But of course it was Johnny Depp.
Of course it was Johnny Depp. But also, of course, the person who asked me the question wasn't in that class.
Of course not.
So the teacher's like, I'm gonna ignore that. And the class is just like, went on with their day. Nobody made, luckily for me, 1, I didn't care. 2, nobody made a big deal about it anyway. And 3, I just scribbled. I was like, my bad, somebody asked me something. Sorry. And then went back to what I was doing, and it happens. It happens sometimes.
Absolutely.
The brain's still going. Sometimes you just need to take a nap. And sometimes on those days when you feel like you're absolutely, when you have a bajillion things to do, so you decide to do none of them, sometimes that's okay. Sometimes it's okay. If you're feeling overwhelmed, sometimes if you just are overwhelmed and need to take a nap, take a nap.
Honestly, yeah. Sometimes you just need to take a nap because your brain needs that to recharge, and, if you're not flying in all cylinders, that could be a reason why. Sometimes it's just getting out and taking a walk outside, too, is another thing. Fresh air. Or,
when I go from,
the bunnies.
Yeah, the bunnies! Sometimes, so one of the things that I do sometimes when I need to reset my brain, where I'm working on one project and then I need to move over to the next thing, the thing I'll do is I will get up from my desk. Having your workspace is so important. Having a workspace set up. I've been so much more productive since I cornered my desk differently. It's been so good for me because it's created like an office space almost.
Yes.
But the thing that I always tend to do is I will get up, walk away if I'm switching gears, go in the shower for 5 minutes, reset my brain, come back out of the shower all hosed off, And sometimes I will like I'll do this like 3 or 4 times where I'm just like I need, and then I can just, because like a shower is like a little runaway space for me. I don't get any messages, nobody's calling me, and even if they do, I have an excuse. Going out for a walk with the dog is also a really good one. Yes, it's fantastic. Absolutely. It works great for me, and everybody's just got their own thing, so sometimes it's just a matter of finding the thing that works for you.
And I would also like to say too, there's one last thing that I did want to talk about.
Yes.
That sometimes, because of everything that's going on with COVID and other things, like sometimes you're financially, things are pressuring, and then it sucks out all of your creative juices and stuff like that. So I wanted to mention another nonprofit that I feel very passionate about, and that is modestneeds.org. Modestneeds.org is, I believe it's US based, but what they do is they give small grants to everyday people, and people can basically, it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're rich or poor or whatever, it will help give you these small grants to sometimes fix your car, or get pay a bill, pay rent, pay medical bills. Somebody went on there and asked for $10 for a bus ticket. So it's just small everyday people that just need that little thing that's going to get them to that job interview, or to not have to worry about their lights being turned off or whatever.
Get that coffee as a little bit of stress relief for you in the morning.
Sometimes you need that. And Modest Needs gives directly to the whatever it is. So they would buy the ticket and give you the ticket. They would they would pay your bill directly to ComEd or whoever. They would, pay it directly to the hospitals or school if you needed books, and make sure that you got the things that you needed. So I really do recommend, if that is something that is, you just need a few $100 or whatever, then that might be a good avenue for you. But also, since the Christmas season is coming up and there are people that are able, if they can give some, I would recommend them, because they've been helping a lot of people out during the middle of this pandemic. And so I want to make sure that people knew about it. But it's modestneeds.org.
It's certainly a better option than necessarily going to like one of those cash stores that are going to get you stuck in a horrible loop that nobody wants to get stuck in.
And there's no strings attached. So.
Oh, there you go. Do you have any, I think we kind of covered everything. I know you have a bajillion other projects that you're working on, and we're going to have to call you in. If you want to give us a brief, that'd be great. But honestly, we're going to have to call you in for a whole other thing just to talk about all the crap that you get into.
I think we better leave some things to mystery for now, just so that we can come for next time.
I'm excited. I'll look forward to this, and it's going to be like, this is just going to turn into, listen, this is Wholesome Week with Vegan. This is what's happening. All right, that wraps us up here today. The links to all of the donation parts of the websites that I showed will be in the description down below. That's going to have to be updated because I actually got one of them wrong. So that was my bad. So that will be updated. So if you're interested in donating, please go donate directly. Anything that is coming to me will go to me. Do not send things to me. Please go donate directly. That's what the disclaimer is at the beginning. Thank you everyone who is a member and a supporter of this channel to help me get the word out, as well as helping support me through doing stuff like this. Thank you so much for joining us, Vegan. And next time on Friday at 9 p.m., so tomorrow, I will be back with another one, and we'll have Sue on, and you can come and see what that's about. And the links to that will probably also be below. So we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much, Vegan, and thank you so much for what you've done just for this community, as well as what you do for other people.
Thank you so much for having me, and big kisses to everybody.
Have a good night, everybody. Bye.